Week 13 of fantasy basketball season, and here's a few centers I look to buy and trade for this week. The first center, Daniel Gafford of the Washington Wizards. The Wizards, they just made a deal for Marvin Bagley. I know it was a salary dump in a way for the Pistons, but Bagley, a former lottery pick, and he's still a young player in 20. So Daniel Gafford, another guy who's going to be on the trading block and most likely traded within the next 3 weeks before the deadline. On the season for Gafford, 10.4 points a game, 7.6 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 2.1 blocks, and 68% from the field. But the last couple weeks, numbers have dropped a bit, 8.7 points a game, 7.1 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 2 blocks, and 68% from the field. So Gafford, obviously, he's the traditional center. He's going to block shots, he's going to rebound, and he's going to be scrappy in a lot of putbacks and a high field goal percentage. January 10th at Indiana Pacers, 12 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, a whopping 6 blocks, 66% from the field. January 13th at Atlanta, 10 points, 6 boards, a steal, 2 blocks, 100% from the field. And January 15th versus Detroit, 8 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, 66% from the field. So right now, Gafford, I think fantasy owners, they're overlooking him a little. I know he's not stuffed the stat sheet with a lot of scoring and hit 3-pointers, but as a traditional center, rebounding and shot blocking, he's very valuable in those categories, and he can help fantasy owners, and especially if he gets traded to a team that's hungry and needs a center, and Gafford to get more motivated to get in the playoff hunt and play. He definitely could pay big dividends for a new team and fantasy owners. So right now, while his name's been on the trade block in the NBA with the deadline in a few weeks here, and he's a guy that might lose playing time with Bagley in town, this is a perfect time to buy Gafford low this week. The next center is Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Evan Mobley, he's trying to get back sooner than later, and right now he's starting to do some activity to get back on the court after he injured the knee. So right now he's taking steps forward in his rehab, is the reports here for Evan Mobley, and he's already been out for 5 weeks since December 8th is Mobley. So last season was a nice year for Mobley, and this year he was off to a great start as well. 16 points a game, 10.5 rebounds, 1.7 blocks, and 57% from the field. So right now, if you're a team in the playoff hunt in your fantasy leagues, 4th, 5th seed, or even obviously a higher seed right now, this is a perfect time to go out there and get Evan Mobley. A guy's going to shot block, he's going to rebound, and he's a good scorer of the basketball. And if he could come back right now, Mobley, in 2 or 3 weeks, that'll put him anywhere from that 6 to 8 week timetable, which they gave him with the knee injury. He's going to be a perfect guy down the stretch for fantasy owners and help you for the stretch run. And I think he's one of the better centers in fantasy basketball, and a youngster as well. So right now, Evan Mobley banged up. This Cav team banged up, him and Darius Garland, but 2 guys I like as buy low candidates, and we know the upside with those players, and we know what they could do, and they definitely have helped fantasy owners over the last few seasons. In the third and final center, I look to buy and trade for Onyeka Okongwu, the Atlanta Hawks. Okongwu, we know he's a good backup over there in Atlanta, where Clint Capella is still the starting center, but many teams interested in Capella, and he's most likely going to get traded as well at the NBA trade deadline in the next few weeks. On the season for Okongwu, 9.4 points a game, 6.7 rebounds, 1.4 assists, a block, 58% from the field. So right now, like I said, backup center for Clint Capella, playing 25-30 minutes a game at most, and he's still getting decent stat lines for the most part. But like I said, if Capella is traded at deadline, it's sky's the limit here for Okongwu. We know he's a good rebounder, we know he's a good shot blocker, and last season when Capella missed some time, he had some big ball games and was a good fantasy option for many owners at the center position. January 12th versus the Pacers, 6 points, a rebound, and assist, 75% from the field. January 13th versus the Wizards, 9 points, 10 boards, an assist, 3 blocks, 60% from the field. And January 15th versus the Spurs, 7 points, 6 boards, a dime, and 37% from the field. So right now, Okongwu, he's not getting major minutes, like I said, 20-25 minutes a game, but his upside is definitely great. And this Hawk team, they're looking to shake things up a little bit, because once again, they're having an underwhelming type of year, and they're looking to make deals, especially DeJounte Murray and Clint Capella, 2 names popping up in the rumor mill. So right now, if Capella's dealt, he could be a big-time center down the stretch for fantasy owners, and he's a buy low this week. So that's a few centers I look to buy and trade for Week 13 of the fantasy basketball season.